Welcome to Midnight Verdict. Today we are covering the story of Selena Quintanilla Perez, a daughter, a sister, a wife, and a global icon whose music and influence continue to inspire millions around the world. Selena was born on April 16, 1971 in Lake Jackson, Texas. She was the youngest child of Abraham and Marcella Quintanilla. Her father, Abraham, had been a musician himself, and he quickly recognized that his youngest child had a gift too. Selena began singing in English at first, pop songs, soul, and rock classics. But Abraham saw that she had the ability to connect with audiences in Spanish as well. Even though Spanish was not her first language, Selena learned quickly and mastered performing Tejano music, a style dominated at the time by male performers. Selena began performing publicly at the age of 9 with her siblings Suzette and AB. The group was called Selena y los Dinos. They played in small restaurants, family gatherings, weddings, and fairs. Money was tight, and Abraham invested everything he could into supporting the family band. They traveled from town to town across Texas, often struggling financially, but Selena's voice was undeniable. She was magnetic on stage, and her charisma drew in more fans each year. By the late 1980s, Selena was becoming a star in Tejano music. Her albums began charting, and she signed with EMI Latin in 1989. This was a turning point that would launch her into superstardom. Her brother AB became her primary songwriter and producer, crafting hits like Bidi Bidi Bum Bum and Como la Flor, which remain classics today. Selena's popularity exploded in the early 1990s. Her album Entre a mi Mundo in 1992 went platinum in the United States, selling over 1 million copies. She was now not only performing in Texas and Mexico, but also filling arenas across the U.S. Her stage presence, her style, and her voice made her a role model to young Latinas, who rarely saw someone who looked like them reaching this level of fame. In 1993, Selena won a Grammy Award for Best Mexican American Album for Selena Live, becoming the first female Tejano artist to win that category. She was dubbed the Queen of Tejano music. Her next album, Amor Prohibido, was even more successful, spawning multiple #1 hits on the Billboard Latin charts. Selena was bridging cultures, fusing Tejano with pop, cumbia, and R&B. Her personal life was also in the spotlight. She had fallen in love with her guitarist, Chris Perez. Abraham Quintanilla initially disapproved, fearing their relationship would disrupt the band. But Selena and Chris eloped in 1992. Their relationship became one of the most endearing parts of Selena's story, a true partnership of love, music, and mutual respect. Selena's career was on the verge of breaking through internationally. She was recording her first English-language album, Dreaming of You, which was intended to make her a household name beyond the Latin music world. She was preparing for a massive crossover moment, already signed to appear in commercials, modeling opportunities, and even considering acting roles. But behind the scenes, a threat was growing, and it came from someone Selena trusted. In 1991, a registered nurse named Yolanda Saldivar convinced Selena's family to let her run her fan club. Yolanda was seen as devoted and helpful. Over time, she gained more access, eventually being put in charge of Selena's fashion boutiques in Corpus Christi and San Antonio. These boutiques, named Selena Etc., were successful, selling clothes and beauty products designed in part by Selena herself. By 1995, cracks began to show. Employees and fans complained about missing payments and late checks. Abraham Quintanilla confronted Yolanda with evidence of financial mismanagement and suspected embezzlement. She was removed from her positions of trust. On March 30, 1995, Selena met Yolanda at Days Inn Motel in Corpus Christi. Yolanda delayed, claiming she had been assaulted and was unwell. The next morning, March 31, 1995, Selena returned to retrieve the records. Instead, the meeting ended in violence. Yolanda produced a gun. Selena was struck once and fled the room, running toward the lobby for help. Bleeding heavily, she identified Yolanda and the motel room number before collapsing. She was rushed to Memorial Medical Center, but passed away shortly after. She was only 23 years old. The news devastated not only her family and fans in Texas, but also the entire Latin music world and beyond. Radio stations played her songs non-stop. Vigils held in multiple cities. Over 60,000 mourners attended her public viewing in Corpus Christi. Flowers, letters, and offerings covered the streets around her family home. Meanwhile, Yolanda locked herself in a truck outside the Days Inn, holding a gun and engaging in nearly a 10-hour standoff with police. Finally, she surrendered and was taken into custody. Her trial began in October of 1995 in Houston. Moved there due to concerns about local bias in Corpus Christi. Prosecutors laid out evidence of betrayal and financial mismanagement, while Yolanda's defense claimed the shooting had been accidental. The jury deliberated less than 3 hours before returning a guilty verdict. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. She remains incarcerated today, with parole not possible until 2025, though recent decisions have denied her release. Selena's death was a cultural earthquake, but her legacy only grew. Her posthumous album Dreaming of You debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, making her the first Latin artist to achieve that milestone. The record sold millions of copies worldwide. In 1997, the biographical film Selena was released starring Jennifer Lopez in her breakout role. The film introduced Selena's story to millions who hadn't known her during her lifetime, and it cemented her as an enduring symbol of talent and possibility. Jennifer Lopez often credited the role with launching her own career. Over the years, Selena's influence has continued to shine. Murals, statues, and memorials have been erected in her honor, including the famous Mirador de la Flor in Corpus Christi. Her fashion style continues to inspire designers, and her music is celebrated across generations. Netflix's 2020 series, Selena the Series, brought her life to a new audience. Her fan base has never faded, with millions streaming her music every day. Selena's story is both one of triumph and loss. She broke barriers in a male-dominated industry. She became a role model for Latinas everywhere, and she was about to take her music global. Though her life was cut short, her influence remains powerful. For her family, her fans, and her community, Selena will always be remembered not only as the Queen of Tejano music, but as an artist who embodied love, authenticity, and joy. This is Midnight Verdict. Subscribe for more fact-driven storytelling, and let us honor Selena Quintanilla Perez by celebrating her life, her achievements, and the timeless music she gave the world.